Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Hopefully you've had a great holiday season or at least a peaceful one. And yeah, so I wanted to bring up a couple of things that have kind of been coming up lately for everyone and hopefully offer some insights. Um, okay, so first of all, when you're in an argument with somebody, it takes two to tango. So one person is expressing something, the other person feels irritated or upset about whatever it is. And then the other person starts getting offended, and then and then it goes back and forth like this. Um, whichever of the side you're on, whichever of those two people, it goes down south if you guys start blaming each other. And the minute somebody starts getting upset and kind of raising their voice at the other person, then they're already triggered and they're already hurt. So you're not going to get anywhere in that conversation. And now, if you can learn how to diffuse the situation because you know the person really well, then that's ideal. But if both of you are possibly being triggered, then it's like a really difficult thing. If both of you start raising your voices, or both of you start calling names, or both of you start getting upset, it's important for you to identify that moment, call your ego out, which is the negative artificial intelligence, just going to pound that into your head. But call it for what it is and say, all right, um, either of us is triggered, or maybe both. We're not in our heart space right now. We shouldn't even have a conversation to try to resolve any kind of issue if we're not in our heart space. So let's pull away from each other and let's, drop into taking personal responsibility, taking a look at what we've done to escalate the situation. And, take a look at our own actions, not brooding about the other person and how rude they were or how any of that, because that's exactly what they want you to do, is to start pinning it on the other person. And always remember that it's the two of you, or however many this is, it's you guys against the issue. There's an issue that's causing the upset. The both of you need to come together and be a team against whatever the thing is. So after the while of cooling off time, maybe you do Byron Katie's work or take a walk or whatever it is, then you come back together and you say, and you're dropped in. You're not coming in ready to prove a point. If you come back, the heart space you want to come back in is if you, whether apologetic is ideal, or at least like, like seeing your part in it and seeing maybe even how both of you have, just watching it from a more detached bird's eye view of the situation with wisdom. Okay. It's not coming in to say, okay, I really took a look at it and it's all your fault, because that's just going to create this again, like a whirlwind type of thing, like a tornado again. So, yeah, if you get in any kind of an argument, also strive to truly understand somebody and see what's going on rather than get defensive. So, an example would be, I posted a story. I'll show it to you because I think this is a really, really good example. Okay, so there's a post by Jake Woodard. And you guys know he's so great with feminine and masculines and coming to balance, working really well together, and the ebb and the flow, and he's great with couples. So he said in a post, which I posted on my stories, if a woman wants her emotional needs to be met, she must be willing to honor her man's sexual needs and not make them a chore or shame him for his desires. So I agreed with that, because it all goes around full circle. Everybody's needs to get met before all these other things too. But I have seen a lot of women, and I don't know if it's even a gender thing, but I've seen a lot of women who've done that. they act like they're really put off by their partner, having those needs. And I just think it's important to acknowledge, not shame your person or act like, oh, this again, like it's a chore. So I agree completely with that. And you can't expect him to fulfill your emotional needs if you're acting like that. I mean, it totally goes both ways, because you could turn it around to the other side as well and say, well, don't expect, her to have the best time in the bedroom if you're not fulfilling her emotional needs, right? So I would have agreed with either post. And we know that if you guys know Jake, you know that he's coming from that really balanced place. So, but somebody said back to me, I disagree. And that's all they said. So I thought, okay, so I'm going to challenge this person, because if they felt the need to say something at all, to disagree with somebody and then not explain it, that means they're triggered. And I want to pull that out of them, because I want them to see their behavior and see what they're doing, because somebody who's confident in what they believe and what they know, they're just going to look at information like that. If they do disagree, and if they know that it's wrong or bad or whatever, then they would just be like, huh, okay. And they would just take it for information that isn't relevant, and they would just ignore it, and they'd just move on because they feel completely comfortable with their own opinion. They don't need to say it to somebody else. And they certainly wouldn't say it without an explanation, because if you really believed it was wrong, then you would think, okay, I'm going to have compassion for this person who doesn't know better, and I'm going to maybe enlighten them. Maybe I'm going to bring some light to the subject where maybe they need to understand this a little better, so they might say, you know what, I agree to an extent, but I think that the man also needs to la la la. But of course, I read the other post, the other slides, and you could see that this guy obviously talks about, giving back and forth for each of them. So they would have looked into it. They would have looked into all the slides. They would have looked into the person saying it or whatever and done the research. And then they would have, started maybe a constructive conversation, a productive conversation, perhaps, if they wanted to help me, or, to help me to see a different angle of it. And I would have welcomed that. I would have said, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, I never thought of that before. That's a great take on it, or whatever. In this particular case, though, she just decides to say, I disagree. So I said, do you care to explain why you disagree? I'm curious. So now this is one thing that I think people need to do more of, is when somebody says something, when they come at you, because that's a mild attack, when somebody just disagrees and that's all they do, or they huff, or it's passive aggressive. So I think it's really good idea to actually listen to the person and hear what they have to say. That way we can really assess it, because what tends to happen is we go, well, why did you say that? Then the other person says their piece, and then you just automatically attack it back. And then it goes back and forth. And again, you're getting nowhere. You're getting nowhere in that situation, and nobody's learning anything. It's just a fight or whatever, it's not doing anybody any good, except, enforcing the ego, which is not anything that we need in our society right now. So if we can hear the other person out completely and just be like, okay, well, like, stop yourself from just arguing, and just say, what makes you feel that way? What is it that you're trying to say? And really ask, not from a defensive place, but out of total curiosity. What is it that makes you say that? And then really, really hear them out, really try to hear their standpoint. And then you can respond knowing the full picture of what they're trying to say. then you can either agree or disagree or whatever. But if you can try to get on the person's wavelength and their state of mind or whatever, just try to get really truly get like really be inquisitive. Well, I said it because of this. Well, what makes you say that, or what makes you assume that, or whatever? And okay, well, it's because la 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 la. Oh, well, that isn't necessarily for everybody, but go ahead and tell me more about that or whatever. But just a curious conversation rather than needing to be right. And this is really funny because the January Great Awakening update, actually, I think it said, one of the cards said, surrender the need to be right. So I think that's something we're definitely working on this month. And in the first example too, of like, you're getting in an argument with somebody and you want to make somebody to blame. It's like, you're going to be the one responsible for this pain, not me. And then the other one's going, no, you're responsible for the pain we're feeling. No, you're responsible for the pain. But if you can say, hey, we don't need the pain, let's drop the pain, let's get on the same page and let's be proactive in dealing with it together. So yeah, this person just disagreed, and I just asked, can you explain it? Can you explain where you were coming from? And their answer was, I don't think it's up to a woman to meet his desires to get her emotional needs met, with like 5 exclamation points. Now that's a clear sign somebody is triggered and they're not thinking from their heart space. This person's totally in their head and they're fighting me. They're with those exclamation points. It's like, and to myself, I'm thinking that's not where he was coming from at all. That's, he's just more saying, don't make fun of your guy for having needs, and that's not cool. You can't, anyway, it's not an outcome. It's not an outcome of sex. If he wants his desires fulfilled, he should be meeting her emotional needs. It goes both ways for both people in all things. If a guy meets, I mean, that's my comment. If a guy meets a woman's needs, she will want to have intercourse, 3 exclamation points. So, that's not necessarily true either, but we have to meet our own emotional needs, and but we have to be there for each other and support each other. Both of us, both of you in that situation have to be, and you can't, that's again, it's that tit for tat. It's the blaming. It's his fault if she doesn't want to have sex, or the other way around. It's her fault because I blah, blah, blah. And it's just the blame game. Women need to feel close to want to have sex, and men need sex to feel close. Right. So, from that point, I said, I think you could be getting triggered and taking this text out of context. Jake talks extensively about each sex fulfilling each other's emotional needs. It's easy to find something to be offended by if you're looking for it. We could take any post that we see and get angry at it. The trick is to take things like this as an invitation from the universe to perhaps take a look at this issue. Someone who feels confident doesn't need to disagree with others. They just ignore it and it doesn't resonate, So, yeah, I think that these energies are really pushing issues to the forefront for us to take a look at, and they're bringing up our everything about these last few years, and this awakening has been about facing our greatest fears, or taking a good look at the stuff that we've been kind of hiding from, or not willing to admit, or afraid of, or whatever. So we're going to get triggered in these times. I had some lady fighting with me over a trash can. And I mean, she was really aggressive. I was like, wow. So, I mean, people will beat each other up over anything. It doesn't take much with all the conflict that's been going on in the world. So that's why I think we just have to be careful, and we need to be respectful. Now, when I've heard respect before in prior relationships, I was thinking respect. That's like putting somebody above someone almost. It felt like that, like, You must respect me. It's like, respect you. Like, it felt to me like somebody was expecting to be spoken in a certain way, like a king or something like that. And I was like, what are you even talking about? And now I understand the word respect to me is like careful. It's like careful. You don't call somebody an idiot. That's not respectful. It's not careful. It's not seeing their value and their worth as your partner or as your friend or whatever. Um, you're irritating the hell out of me can be disrespectful. You're not being careful. You could lose a friend over things like that, over saying something so harsh. So it's basically you saying something that could that you're basically saying you don't care about the friendship or you don't care about the relationship is kind of what disrespect is. I don't care about you. I'm going to say whatever I want to because I'm going to be a brat. And if I lose you, I lose you, you know, and they don't care. But if they don't care, then they don't care. So I just think we need to be careful and respectful of other people we want to keep in our lives and everybody for that matter, because we can be respectful of their personal growth and wanting to nurture them along. Um, Not that it's our job to nurture other people, but I think that we're either contributing to each other's growth or we're contributing to each other's demise. In any given relationship, you're always either building it stronger or crumbling it weaker. You're making it worse. So the more that we can practice being careful with others, not people pleasing, there's the difference. Being careful means that that you treat it with care. You don't lie. People pleasing involves lying. People pleasing also puts somebody else's needs before your own. It says that person's more important than me, so I'm going to agree with them, even if I don't really agree inside of me. And that's why it's a lie. I'm not saying to lie to people. I'm saying you pause for a moment and you catch your ego that's getting triggered and angry, and you call yourself on it, and you don't have that conversation, a productive conversation, until you're in your heart space, you know? Um, so I hope that helps somebody out there that needed to hear that somehow. Let me see. Was there something else I was going to bring up? I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Well, let me just check real quick. Hang on. Okay, I was going to mention too that I feel like 2024 is actually going to give us some traction where we've felt stuck in our lives up until now. So, my shirt, by the way, if you haven't seen it before, is Choose Happy. Um, so yeah, I think that in these areas where we've felt stuck and stagnant and like we're living in Groundhog Day or something, every day the same thing. If you've been going through that, then now you almost have to be careful about what you think about because you're going to manifest it pretty fast. Things are happening and getting unstuck right now. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive. So, all right, so let's get to these questions. Oh, I just felt like I should pull one of these for you. These awakened dreamer cards. What do these guys need to hear today? Need to hear. Okay. Love the ones you're with. As if this were your last day on earth, give 100% of your gifts to the project or person in front of you now. Stop waiting to exhale. Though your circumstances may not be perfect, consider this to be permission to give all the love you've got to the ones you're with. Somebody needed to hear that one. River of bliss. Running just beneath the drama on the surface is a river of never-ending bliss. Consider this your permission slip to dip your toe or dive in headfirst into the sacred swirl that leads you back to the shore of your joyous nature. So now that river of bliss is always going through us in the present moment. So just remember that that's always there. And in terms of loving the one you're with, Well, what comes to mind is actually loving yourself, because you can't love other people unless you love yourself, and you're always stuck with yourself. No matter what situation you're in, um, yeah, and you practice your skills and abilities like, I don't know, you and your best friend and how you guys handle issues and fights and things like that are they're really good practice for when you're in a relationship. Or your relationship could be practice for when you have a really good friend that comes into your life, or practice for the people that you work with at work. So I think it's also saying that take the opportunity with everybody you come across, even strangers, to treat them with kindness and to treat them with care. And yeah, try to make a positive impact everywhere you are with everything that you do. Oh, there's something in that about the quantum financial system. Oh, there was something that came to me yesterday. A download happened while I was talking to a divine feminine. And I felt like, you know how the quantum financial system's not allowing any scamming or any kind of bad deals go down. Like if you go to make a nefarious transaction, it's basically going to get declined. And how there's this, the liars are going to become bankrupt, and people who tell the truth or are honest are going to excel and do really well financially and all this stuff. Well, this is where I think it's the downfall of the Jezebel. The Jezebel is the karmic. The karmics, they trick the divine masculines. Okay, so there's we're gonna talk a little bit about true love. Um, so in a true love relationship, you've got a divine feminine and a divine masculine that meet, and they genuinely, truly have feelings for each other when they meet, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's truly genuine, and it is being loved for who you truly are to your core. That person identifies you, sees right through you to your core, and both of you are like little kids and sweet and innocent, and it's this really pure kind of love. And it brings so much joy to the heart. And there's this recognition. It could be people who've met in a past life, and they just instantly trust each other. And there's just this ease and comfort, and the person feels like home. But what happens is the divine masculines get insecure that they're not good enough for the feminine, because they've, maybe chosen bad partners before and been treated bad. So they don't know what to do with somebody who's good. That's what that way they say, oh, the girls always go for the bad guy, or the guys always go for the whatever. They basically they're just not accustomed to or comfortable yet with being treated with respect and kindness and care, maturity. They're not used to that. So the Jezebel I almost said drama queen. The Jezebel or the drama queen, those guys will come in, and they will see the divine masculines kind of trying to hide from the feminine. They're over here in the corner going, I don't know, I want to ask her to dance, but I'm scared. She can find a better guy than me, and they go through all that. They all do. They all do. No, nobody's exempt from this. And the Jezebel sees a prime opportunity, just like in the movies, they kind of watch from the sideline. They see these two that are truly in love, and they go, how can I get money out of him? How can I trick him? How can I? And they have to do that because they're not sincerely interested. They see that they're attractive. They see that they can get status from them. It's all about what they can get from the person, that'll make them look better. But they end up having to go pick the person apart and be like, well, you need to be like this. And they shape them into like cookie dough and start pushing them into these different shapes and things. Whereas the person's true feminine just loves them. It doesn't matter what they do or who they are or how they act or whatever. They might be embarrassed sometimes and kind of laugh, but they're not going to like shame them or, be just totally like not like them, or want to change them to even tolerate them kind of thing. So, and I'm talking, like personality traits or things like that are just like a core part of who you are. Well, your personality anyway. Yeah, the Jezebels, the karmics actually, hi, sweetheart. They actually do black magic. It's more frequent than you guys know. I mean, gosh, I talk to these masculines sometimes. They're, oh, she would never do that. It's because she's totally an actor. She's totally fake. These Jezebels are really good at charming you into acting like the sweetest things in the world, but they truly are really great actors. They are not sincere. They are not authentic like the divine feminines are with them. Eventually, a lot of the masculines figure it out, but a lot of times it's kind of too late. Because the Jezebels are great at seducing them. They're great at guilting them. They know that they like the feminine. They always know. They have a radar for that. They know that he's in love with someone else. So they'll catch him, looking out and kind of staring off into daydream land, and they'll be like, "Who are you thinking about?" And they get really jealous, and they get like you should prove your love to me. You should buy me diamonds, or you should, do this and that. It's drama and it's toxic. So what I think is going to start happening here with this new quantum financial system and the new honest, authentic time we're coming into in this ascension, the Jezebels don't stand a chance anymore. And ultimately, the Jezebel and the karmic, they just prove to be not the person for you, divine masculines. They're just not the one for you. The one for you, it's natural with. It just clicks naturally. You don't have to mold and shape them into something else. So, yeah. So a lot of divine masculines are going to realize they got duped by these people because they may they may have all their transactions declined. Why can't you make any purchases? I don't know. Decline. Or, stuff like that's going to happen. That's the masculines are going to be like, oh, I have to buy everything for you now because of course, they would spin it all around like, oh, it's the machine's fault. Oh, it's they would do that, but who knows what's going to be happening. But I just feel like it's going to become more and more obvious who the good guys are and who the trickers, the manipulators are. Thank God. So I think that the blinders and the rose-colored glasses are going to come off these masculines so they can see people for who they really are. So that is very promising and very exciting and hopeful for those who are the feminines that are kind of waiting around for their masculines to kind of get it together. Also, the masculines are going to rise up above their addictions and bad behaviors that they've developed to cope with things through the years. Because again, if they lie, cheat, and steal, they don't get to make transactions. They don't, it's like it makes everybody be honest. It's going to make everybody get more honest and authentic. So, and then they're going to see their divine feminine flourishing and doing really well in life, and every purchase going through, everything working out great for them, everything expanding for them in every way, and they're going to be like, well, what's the ticket? Well, honesty, integrity, authenticity. It's the key to everything. So I don't know how that's all going to play out, because we've never had this happen, but I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see. These guys aren't going to be able to get away with the things that they've been able to get away with for far too long. I mean, these karmics are ruthless. They're horrible. They put horrible spells on the divine feminines, and they didn't even do anything. Like the feminines, they're just in love with the person. They don't even some of them don't even make contact with them at all or anything. They get attacked. Their animals get attacked. Like I've seen so many. It's horrible what the karmics do. Um, and even some feminists who've just been totally disowned their divine masculines because they're done with it, they're fed up with the situation and they've walked away from it. The Jezebels are still so jealous and angry that they know that their masculine is in love with someone else that they still throw darts. They throw psychic darts and stuff, sex magic or I don't know. There's so many different things I've seen, but that's going to stop happening. That's not going to be happening anymore. I don't feel, I think, or at least it's going to, no, it's not going to happen. I feel like it's really going to die down to nothing. And these people, these Jezebels are going to have to learn to grow up and to heal and to stop blaming everything on everybody else, like in the beginning of this video. Stop being a victim. Everybody's going to have to stop being a victim because it's time to celebrate. It's time to get happy. It's time to have a good life. Then the Jezebels can find somebody who they authentically love and they can start flourishing with that person. You naturally start acting the right way with somebody when you're with the right person. Gosh, there was a great quote too. I don't know. I'm going to look for it. Hang on. Okay, I did post it on Instagram. I liked it so much. Tom Hardy once said, at your very best, you still won't be good enough for the wrong person. But at your very worst, you'll still be good enough for the right one. Right? That's how it is, guys. That's how it is. So if you're trying so hard to be something for somebody and it's not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, that is not the person for you. It's not that anything is wrong with you. It's that that's not your person. You're always going to have little things to work on, like your communication or, little things like that. But it's not going to feel like, dang, no matter what I try to please this person, it's just impossible. It's not going to feel like that with the right person. It's going to be a lot more natural and easy and flowy. Anyway, yeah. So we have that to look forward to. Real authentic power couples coming together that see things for how they are, them becoming great leaders and being I don't know, just imagine what that would be like to have a healthy relationship with someone who's got your back, who you can trust, who is always honest with you no matter what. Somebody who wants to grow with you, somebody who takes responsibility, who does that I talked in the beginning of this video about, like takes a time out and says, I love you, but I gotta just go do a powwow with myself for a minute, and then comes back and says, I'm really sorry. I can see how what I was saying could be really hurtful and get you really triggered, and then you have the opportunity to do the same and be like, yeah, well, when I did such and such, I can see how that really threw a curveball. So I'm really sorry too. Think of how cool that would be, right? And maybe some of you have experienced that. Most of us have not, or have only like seen it in other couples or whatever. But yeah, that's what we're coming into. And even better, as we ascend even higher and we actually become enlightened. That is a whole other level. So hopefully you can find yourself somebody that you could actually enlighten with, because that would be so incredibly powerful and peaceful and beautiful. And I don't know. I can't even imagine. Hopefully I'll be able to experience that, because that would just be amazing. So, all right, yeah, let's get to these. Let's get to these readings. I think what I'll do is I'll just put a different deck up for the timestamps, or to identify these different ones. I need to find a pen. Hang on. Oh. And it's funny, people mention my hair sometimes. When I was little, I had such blonde hair. I was like bleach blonde, like no, even like white blonde. And it was always straight. It was straight clear up till I was probably, I don't know, 18. It was straight. I got a perm once when I was about, yeah, I don't know, maybe it was I don't know, between 16 and 18ish. And I got a perm once, and the perm turned my hair curly. Like permanently. It was actually a permanent. I couldn't believe it. And I loved it though, because if I blow dry it straight, it'll stay straight. And if I just leave it, just wet, it turns curly. So, and I know you guys have opinions as to which one you prefer. And I don't care which opinion you have. Not that I don't care about you. I'm just saying, you can't please everybody, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go with whatever I go with. But I like them different in different ways for different reasons and different days, depending on what I'm doing. I might have it, curly and natural like this, or I might have straightened it, or whatever, or put it up in pigtails. I don't know. I don't, I just go with what I feel like doing. And you guys have seen me come on here with like white hair too. So, anyway, yeah, just being authentic, just keeping it real. Okay. 6113. Gonna do the Sacred of Light deck. Okay. 6113. What do my guides say is most important for me to do right now? Very interesting. What should she do right now? What should she do right now? I'm feeling like getting some self-care cards and some spirit cards. They're like all over the place over here right now, though. Okay, I think I could still deal with that. Okay. Ipima shashenche ela ainake. So say shashe on sense. What's really important for her to do right now? What's really important? I feel like writing, blogging, or a book or something. I'm not gonna take that one that fell on the floor. It's gonna be hard to get to. Space. The quality of your life has more to do with what you remove from your life than what you add to it. Give yourself the gift of space. So maybe that feels like make room for someone new, make room for more. When we dump the things that no longer serve us, whether it be garbage or like literal garbage, or just clutter, or negative people or whatever, they just said reset your standards higher. It's like you're settling, apparently settling for maybe friendships or things that are questionable, and they want you to learn better discernment and to be picky and to be okay being completely totally alone for now, because it feels like, I don't know if you watched my video about being a chosen one. I think it was last month's Great Awakening video. If you haven't seen that, you might want to see that, because you could be one of those people who are isolated on purpose. Oh, and they also said that you might have a relationship coming in. So, like actually literally make space for them, get a dresser on both sides of the bed, or a nightstand on both sides of the bed. Actually make room for somebody to be able to live with you, or get in the mindset of like moving in with someone totally different, like a totally different place. Have an idea, like plan as if you're going to be going forward with another person in your life. Yeah, and have friends that you would want to introduce your person to, that you'd be happy to introduce your person to without any qualms, any kind of reluctance. Tapan na tarihin sa shenshi pehuman. Yeah, I mean, I just went through dumping a ton of pictures, just dumping. So like, I don't know, 2 big grocery bags full of pictures, because they were pictures that I didn't even know the people in them. So like, why was I keeping that around, or like scenes of places, like pictures of places that don't, they're just, I don't know, anything that didn't just make me smile or make me really happy, or I had a good memory with, I just tossed or saved it to give to someone else later or whatever. I did something with it. So I've narrowed it down, and I've categorized it all. So there's these little organizers you can buy on Amazon. Like it's like a little suitcase, and it has all these like little tabs, like index tabs. No, that's what I thought it was going to be. It ended up being like these little plastic boxes that kind of stack up in the suitcase. And you can put a little, like use a label maker and put a little label on each one for like all the different times of your life, or like your graduation. You could have a bunch of pictures from your graduation, or you could have pictures of somebody you were married with, and like just keep the key pictures, not all of them, but just like some important ones you feel like would be cool to share with your daughter or your granddaughter someday, or something like that, just to be like, this is what this person looked like, or this is the home we used to have, or basic stuff. Anyway, just get better organized and toss out anything that's excess, that you don't need anymore. Success. Today is a really good day. You're in the flow. Problems are solved quickly and easily. Helpful people show up for you, and unexpected gifts fall into your lap. Wow, I feel like this is 2024 for sure, but especially January. So that's very affirming. Great confirmation. Okay, change. A resistance to change is a resistance to life itself. Open your heart and mind to a new beginning, to new beginnings. Don't know what that's about, but yeah, just maybe take a look at any kind of resistance. I think you have been, and do some Byron Katie work on it. Um, Anything that you worry might happen or not happen, that kind of thing. Okay, speak up. If you avoid conflict to keep peace, you start a war inside yourself. Yes. And you perpetuate lies, they just said. Okay, what else does she need to work on right now? What is the best thing for her to work on right now, please? Interesting. We're protecting you from black magic or negative energy being sent your way. Just wanted you to be aware. Please sage or clear the energy where you are. Okay, so people don't realize, and I said this in my video, Know Thyself. If you haven't seen that video, please go watch that video. And if you've heard me say that a million times and you haven't watched it yet, then please really just do it. Just pause this video right now, go watch that video, then come back. Because people don't realize when they get in car accidents, or when they trip and fall and hurt themselves, when they stub their toe, when their cat chokes or gets really sick or throws up, or when all the bad stuff that happens to us, I don't believe that that's us. I don't think those are accidents. I don't. I think that they're black magic. It's either black magic sent to us collectively, like generally, like, or put in our water, or put in our food, or spells and curses and all that kind of stuff. Or a lot of karmics. This really comes from a lot of karmics who are jealous. And some black magic is just from you being hateful of someone, like really hating somebody can trip them up. So you don't even necessarily have to bring out a candle and voodoo and all that kind of nonsense, but a lot of people do. A lot of people do, and they hide it. So maybe it's just becoming more aware. Even your bad mood. It's negative AI, but that's black magic too, because it's nefarious energy. It's just demons. Demons just are running around in the background, just doing their little jobs, trying to trip you up and trying to, obeying their master, running around, just doing random stupid stuff to you. So the more aware we are that it exists and that it's causing any kind of negativity in our lives, we can see it for what it is. We can, say a prayer. We can do light language or whatever and clear it. Try to clear yourself every time you, every morning, every night, anytime something wonky starts to happen, anytime you go anywhere, anytime you leave somebody's house, or even before you go in, like, for at least for now, while black magic still exists, you really do have to look out for yourself and protect yourself, and just know what you're dealing with. All right. And so I'm going to do a clearing for you right now as well. But I always keep frankincense and myrrh incense on me, And I use cedar a lot because the dark side hates cedar. And cedar is very protective of us as an energy. Cats are very protective of us in our energy. Keep cats around. Sage, sweetgrass, Palo Santo. There are a lot of different, even crystals and things like that. Feng shui your place. Feng shui is a good way. It's an art form of rearranging furniture and putting things in certain directions, sleeping with your head north and all kinds of really cool tricks like that that actually really work. They bring in abundance, or they bring in ease and comfort and harmony and all kinds of wonderful things. And if you have the feng shui wrong, you have the wrong thing in the wrong space, and things can go wonky, and all these demons come in and play with you. So yeah. Hapama sheshin chain. And that might be an indicator that you need to read about feng shui. The fact that came up in your reading. Hatanan tatayna shishin na puhuma na trinkehin. Hala sanse pihina takin. Apa hama shenche na trahin sa se ilkide puhuma ana ai. Shishin. Yeah, and a lot of people are just jealous. They're just jealous. And there are a lot of unhealed people in this world, man. A lot of people who are just lazy and they just don't take the time to do their healing, to take the time to actually, get through their defensivenesses and things, knock their defenses down. Whatever you're seeing in another person, see that it's also in you, both the good and the bad. See only you, and not the differences between you, and you'll find peace. So that's another thing to focus on, is that when you get triggered by somebody or think that somebody's a certain way, take a look at how you're that way also. But the good too, like if there's traits that you admire about somebody, that's also in you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay. Don't be afraid to rely on others to aid you in a time of need. Accept a gift or take a compliment. People feel good when they give to you. Let them do it. In doing so, you encourage all humanity to care. I think it's time for you to make that move. What are you waiting for? Just do it. I don't know what that's pertaining to, but take action on something. What else does she need to focus on right now? What else does she need to focus on? I feel like Mary Magdalene calling. Okay, so this involves illusory beliefs of guilt and shame. Make sure you do Byron Katie on any kind of guilt and shame. You can make a bigger impact now and best honor your past by letting go of negative emotions and embracing a more positive outlook. All right. Okay, so let's get that Mary Magdalene card. All right, Mary, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to us? What do you have to say to her, but us? Yeah. Intimacy. Okay. Intimacy. Okay, you may have been emotionally hurt in the past, and as a result, you're now reluctant to share your feelings with others because of your fear of being hurt again. It's understandable that you have placed a protective shield around your heart. However, it's now time to drop the armor because at present, it is preventing a worthwhile relationship from forming. Isn't that interesting? There is someone who dearly loves you, and the love this person has for you is real. However, he or she is afraid to reveal their true feelings for fear of rejection. Like you, they fear being hurt. Trust and share your feelings and experiences openly and honestly, and you'll be amazed at what unfolds. The most intimate relationships are usually formed through tears and laughter, so don't be afraid to express your feelings, fears, and vulnerabilities. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace the now. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people that I talk to that I say, well, did you say this? Because I know that they feel that way. Well, did you say this? Well, no. Well, did you tell them that? Well, no. And I'm like, well, what did you tell him? that he had a nice shirt or, something like that, totally superficial, that I was glad we had the opportunity to talk. And I'm like, but about what? We got to get more willing to put our hearts out there and risk it and just say what we mean, you know? One good thing to take a look at, or one way of having a kind of a barometer for that, is pay attention when you're dealing with, okay, you start dating somebody or you really like a person and you're talking to him, right? And then you go to your friend and you're saying all this stuff to your friend. Compare the two side by side. I'm telling my friend this. And like, you could even record yourself talking to your friend just so you can hear yourself. And you'll say, well, I'm worried that he's going to this, that, and the other thing. And I think that here's where he's coming from. And then you'll go on and on with your friend and you'll tell them everything, all of it, right? And then over here, like, let's say this is on a scale of authenticity and telling them the truth, you'll be like an 8 with your friend. Over here, you get with the guy and you have him in front of you and you're like at a 2 on the scale of authenticity, because there's so much information you're holding back out of fear that he's going to reject it or not like it or judge it or whatever. But it's funny because when we hold ourselves back like that, we really do ourselves a disservice big time. Because yes, you're protecting yourself from rejection, but the faster you can get to where you are just authentically being able to be yourself and accepted for it, the better. And if they don't like you, if you are just yourself, and like say you're really goofy and you laugh a lot, like I'm just a goofball, and I will readily admit I talk and laugh at everything and with everything, and I just have a good time everywhere. If somebody weren't okay with that, for example, and I was just being myself, I wouldn't take offense at them being upset about it. I would just know that they're not my person. That's it. So you don't even have to let it offend you or upset you. And yeah, you like them a lot, but maybe it was superficial. If that's the case, then you've just found your Jezebel. You know what I mean? Then great, because you don't want to be with somebody you can't be yourself with anyway. So do all the goofy things. Be completely yourself unapologetically. Then you're going to very quickly be able to figure out who's your person and who's not your person ultimately. And if they are your person, which a lot of you have found your person, then you should be able to just be yourself. And it's going to really help them to know where you're coming from. It's going to help everything. If everybody could just put all their cards on the table and just be honest about how they're feeling and what they're afraid of and what they're thinking, think of what that's going to do for everybody, because your person's going to know where you're coming from, what you're afraid of. What they're not going to be like the karmic. If it's a true love relationship, they're not going to be like the karmic and use it to their advantage and plot against you. No, I know their insecurity, so I'm really going to flirt with other people in front of them, or they're not going to do that to you, and a part of you knows that. But you need to start testing the waters, I feel. Not just you, everyone listening right now. Test the waters with that true love person. What are you doing? What are you doing, honey? Test the waters and see. And then the more you see that you can trust them with that, trust them with more. But I'm so disappointed so often by you guys, like telling me afterwards how it went, and you didn't even express even a small portion of what you wanted to. So I think we really do, as a society, I think we really do need to up the ante, take a chance. Then, I talk about how we become jaded. We can become jaded. We have all these bad experiences and then we have walls around our hearts. But that's really not going to get us anywhere with that person that we really actually truly love and have a really good chance with. So put your cards out there, guys. Just say it like it is. Don't be afraid to just say it. Because either it's going to make it all come crumbling down and it wasn't for you in the first place, or it's going to make things really go to the next level in the best way possible, because you're going to be loved for who you really are, because they're going to see that and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person's made for me. I love that they're that way. And you're going to be like all shocked. I can't believe you like that I'm like that. Are you kidding me? That's what I've always wanted, and you do it naturally, it'll be like that. But you can't get there if both of you are kind of pussyfooting around, walking on eggshells, acting, well, I don't know, and you're never going to be, you can't please people, guys. It's like pretty much impossible by faking it, by pretending, because not everybody's going to want to hear it. You can't have like a cookie cutter response to everything and everybody. It's impossible to people please everybody. It is. It's impossible. You know, you say that you don't like, cigarette smoke or something like that, and the person happens to like cigarettes or something. I don't know. Just be yourself, and also be open to so you can say, hey, I really don't like cigarette smoke, and they could say, I like cigarette smoke. At least when I'm in France, I like cigarette smoke because it makes me think of France. Then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see that. So that way you're open, you're honestly about who you are, but you're also considering the other person if they like it, if they like the thing that you don't like. Or you can always just be yourself and see how they respond, and then say, hey, I'd be open to seeing your perspective too. I'm curious how that would be to actually like doing that thing. you know that's part of why we're here too, is to have like new experiences and have us be open. Because I mean, a lot of people don't like certain foods. I will never eat seafood grosses me out. I've had people tell me that before. Like a girlfriend of mine, she was just like, oh, if I ever had seafood in front of her, she'd put up a menu, or she'd put up some kind of thing, like, so she couldn't see me eat. She couldn't stand seafood. But if we got to stay open to trying seafood. Maybe you tried it 10 years ago and it made you gag for whatever reason. Maybe it wasn't cooked right, or maybe something, but be willing to try something new, something different. So anyway, keep your heart open and stay honest with the person. Don't I love this story. Byron Katie shares this one story about how this guy started I don't remember if it was the guy with the girl with the guy. Somebody made somebody an oatmeal breakfast, and the person hated oatmeal, but they pretended they loved it because they didn't want to hurt their feelings. So they said, I love this oatmeal. And they ate it for like 10 something years. Every morning for breakfast, they had to eat it. And that person made it for them because they got married or whatever. And then one day he finally gets honest, and he's just like, I really don't like oatmeal. I really don't like oatmeal. And she's like, I've been giving it to you for every day for like 10 years. Why did you eat it? I didn't want to hurt your feelings. Can you imagine 10 years going with somebody and doing that? I mean, that's just, don't do that. Don't you want to genuinely be happy? Don't you want to say, if somebody made you that breakfast, there's always a nice way to say it. There's always a diplomatic way to say any kind of no. You could say, oh my gosh, I so appreciated that you took the time to make me some oatmeal. I love that you put the effort in. You are so sweet to do that. Oh my gosh, that was so thoughtful. I really don't like oatmeal, but you made it taste great, So for something I don't like, you sure made it, you sure made it nice. So that was great. Something like that, to where they'd be like, oh yeah, well, what do you like? Oh, well, I like such and such and such. It kind of depends, or whatever, just be honest. Just be honest with the person. Okay. All right. I feel like I got to clean up some cards in front of me here for a sec. I know I just took your deck down, but I feel like there's also a surrender card for you. Let's see. What does she need to surrender at this time? And I'm going extra long for her today because I skipped her. I didn't get to her second question a couple weeks ago, and then I forgot her last week. So, in case you're wondering why we're lingering on this one for quite a while. Surrender negative thinking. Oh, you have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say to yourself, thank you for sharing. And quickly refocus on positive affirmations. So there you go. Do your Byron Katie every single day without fail. And that negativity will be out of there pretty quick. All right, so let's put this up as the marker. There we go. It's the marker for the next reading. Okay, 6120. Can you please do a chakra clearing and or med bed or cut any dark cords or tentacles trying to attach to my divine masculine? Whichever of the one spirit leads you to do. Okay, so let's just see here. I'll just do, let me just see what I can do. They're having me do a scan on him. Prena sa shi kiripu pumaptan dan he ka isan say chi. Hola ke hipo humama anatara. It's somewhat of a chakra clearing. Tarata sa se shi na triki no turan poma. Hala pohoma na tarihina. I've got a big blockage in the throat. It's making me yawn like crazy. Tarasa se shishin shipura taradenta takinda tarina tarihina an. Oh, his heart too. Why? Taranatsa se she. Wapa mama na tarihina sa se na she. That's his power center. Taratsa sense se she kipiril no to hana an. Haha, I hit pohuma an. Whoa, okay. This Nasara Jasara thing that's about to happen, that's already happening, but publicly happening, that's going to touch your masculine in a sense of like touching his actual life, like bling, the magic wand goes over his life, and he, has, whatever it is. They have 200 programs to benefit people. So I don't know which one. Is going to touch him, but something's going to touch him that's going to make his heart expand, that's going to open him up in a way that he'll be more receptive. It'll crack him open. I feel like, cracking open. Can I get a confirmation of that somehow, guys? Okay, so I've got these cards here. Is this going to crack him open? It's going to make him put in the effort. Put in the effort for what? Whoa, to go to the next level. Maybe even get married. To create harmony. This is like working together with people. Creating a nice home atmosphere, like a collaboration, cooperating and collaborating with other people. So yeah, what else do you want to tell me about that? He's going to have a lot of regret. And this is just up around the corner. He might, that might also be him finding new work, finding a new trade. It's going to have integrity. It's going to cause him to have integrity and take action out of integrity and go for that dream he's always had to be with you. So, okay. Now I'm just working on his field. And I'm cutting cords or anything like that also to kind of help empower some of these issues that he had, the blockages that he had that I cleared. So I'm getting rid of like the residual energy that's left from it, if you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, I think yeah. Ooh, somebody's attacking my jaw. Some of you know who I'm talking about. There's only one person that goes after my jaw. Apenatrin sa seki shashinchi po maanatrin na taya. Asa seki shushinchi pihin na trikit na tayi na o mama anai. Hashishinchi. Okay. Hatrin na tasa sa shehin na pura tatrina trike. Ala sa senchi shenchi. Yeah, there's a truther on YouTube. A truther. Most of the truthers don't tell the truth, in case you guys had to figure that out the hard way. Um, but yeah, some of these posers, I guess, have been doing black magic on their audience and even on their clients and stuff. I mean, that's just, I can't imagine the payback they're gonna get. Hapama anatarin sa se la ahe. Hmm. I feel like there's a fall. Do you guys know that the fall of Cabal now that I don't think that person that created Fall of the Cabal that did the documentary, I actually feel like she's still alive. I think that they probably just had to hide her. I bet probably some of the people who watched the video, some skeptics were probably saying, hey, if she's still alive, I don't buy it because the CABAL would have, gotten rid of her or something like that. So maybe to be more credible, they had to take her off the scene or something and hide her temporarily till it was safe, until these guys, till everything's come out in the open and everything, which it's about to. Um, Anyway, though, it's the whole thing has been released under one big video again. Like it's hours long, but it tells you everything, every nefarious activity, every corrupt activity that's been going on behind the scenes in our society for a very, very long time. Our money system and the whole thing. It's incredible. She did such an amazing job. And it is the thing that woke me up. It was the thing that shook me awake. To see things a lot more clearly. So if you guys have not seen that movie, I definitely recommend going over to Rumble. Go to rumble.com and look up FALL space OF space THE space CABAL and watch the one that's like hours long. It should be like at least 4 hours, I think, maybe longer, but around 4 hours. It'll tell you everything you need to know. But yeah, they finally released like the whole thing, the whole long thing. Um, which also lets you know that we are safe, that we have had the victory, and they wouldn't be able to roll out Nasara and have all these, sprout up all these millionaires soon if so. There's the male version. Together she's got 9 coins and he's got 1, and that's the 10 of coins. That's everything you've ever wanted in life, all your dreams coming true. So, and travel. All right. So maybe he's going to be traveling to you. And that's also a card about becoming single, possibly too. Oh, I just felt like a bunch of masculines are breaking away from their karmics this year. Like it's going to be a big, like mass exodus away from the Jezebels. Today, not saying, boy, those Jezebels, they're just mean too, man. And they go for the juggler. They threaten, they lie, they steal, they manipulate, they blackmail, whatever they got to do. Trana sa say shishina puhuma ana trihina ike asan sipien. Hi. I feel like they have a message for you from Mary Magdalene as well. And they said good work. Whatever you've been doing. I know you've had some like supernatural experiences, and they're grateful for you. I just read grateful. Ascension. Okay. And I just opened up to gratitude. Not even kidding you. Okay, ascension. Trying to gain a higher perspective of trying to gain a higher spiritual state of awareness may feel like a long and slow process. Yet remember that a part of you exists always in a higher spiritual state. Higher consciousness is a knowing and wisdom far beyond words or explanation. It is your true nature, the eternal light of your soul. There is no point trying to reach it, just as there is no point trying to escape your physical reality. To ascend spiritually is to accept and love your physical reality. High consciousness means being fully present in each moment. Stop trying to reach it, and you may just realize you're already there. Wow, that gave me chills. Beautiful. And they said also stop trying to make this relationship happen and realize it's already there. And when you stay present in the moment and stop like leaning into it, where is it? Where is it? When's it going to happen? When you just totally embrace the power of the now moment, um, that the time will fly very, very quickly, and you'll manifest them that much faster if you can just practice staying present more often. All right. There we go. Okay, then we'll do spirit talk. Okay, that's my deck. And you can get those on my website, all the decks. I have like, I don't know, 6 or 7, I think 6 or 7 decks now available in my store. Okay, so 6123. Oh, I love you, Amy. I'm so grateful for what you've done for me and the collective. I would just really love to have a general message from my guides or my dad if I'm on the right track. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, let's take a look. Is she? Okay, is she on the right track? Yeah. I do feel that they're. Has she been through this yet? Oh, she's gonna go through it. Okay, so you know what this kind of reminds me of is a romantic comedy. Some of them are like so repetitive. It's the same thing over and over. Um, but what happens is, somebody's living, working in a city, and they're have this great job, and they're really striving for their goals and trying to meet certain requirements, and they're trying to climb up that ladder and the whole thing. And then all of a sudden they have something happen where, oh, it would be best for your career and for you as a person if you would go back home. And then they have to go, no, I never wanted to go back home. I don't want to go back home. I'm not going to go back home. And they resist it. And then they go home and they have this incredible experience that really opens them up in every way and brings them back to a more authentic state, even. All these epiphanies and realizations happen. Then they go back to New York or wherever that they were like really working hard. And then they realize, I don't want that. I don't want all that superficial stuff. I don't want to strive for all that stuff. I want a simple life. I want to be happy just being me around people who love me for who I am. So that's how the true love journey goes. You have the contrast between the superficial fake world, faking people out, all that people pleasing and all that kind of stuff. Then you have this world over here where everybody actually just really loves you. And you don't have to pretend with them or anything. And everybody like just appreciates you. And there are like, what? I mean, you're so sweet. She's a little teddy bear. She's a little teddy bear. You're a little teddy bear that wants treats. A little teddy bear who wants treats. Little teddy bear. No, you're not going to get into there because then you're going to. Oh, oop, oop. Go on. Get down. Thank you. So she gets so mad when I do that. When I won't give her a treat, she'll sit and she goes like this. Like, give me the treat. I'm not giving you the treat. Now she did this. Oh yeah, I'll give you the love blink. She's still waiting for it. I'll give her one. I'll give her one. Here I am talking about good, healthy boundaries. There you go. Now leave me alone. She's too cute. So, okay, so your dad is also saying something about your connection to the galaxy. Wee! Your connection to the galaxy. Something, connection to ETs or something. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Okay. So you were gonna that you might be returning home in some way. You might be returning home, and he doesn't want you to feel like it's any kind of setback. It's like a reset in a good way. So yes, you are definitely on track, but the track might wind around to go back to your hometown or go back to revisit something you've done before or something like that. So he's saying don't see it that way. See it as a graduation. See it as a way of going back and seeing how far you've come and to like realign with why you're doing this in the first place, kind of thing. So watch a romantic comedy on the Hallmark Channel or on Amazon Prime or something. I know, right? Um, she's so yeah, yeah, because yeah, you're gonna have to revisit something, but you're not going backwards, you're going forward. You're going forward. I feel like pulling an oh, how funny, because I said something about connection to the galaxy. Angels of Atlantis, they want me to read something from there. Arcturians, are you working with Arcturians or something? Freedom. Uriel freedom. Okay, so what does she need to know right now? Sandalphon evolution, and then Zephiel ecstasy. I feel like I need to read them both for some reason. Okay, Sandalphon. I need to. This is like one of those books that's really hard to figure out where things are. Hang on. Okay, here's the evolution one. Sandalphon wants you to know that this is a light-filled time in your life. You are evolving by leaps and bounds. So this is a time to fill your heart with gratitude. Also, remember that if manifestation is not fully apparent just yet, destiny will soon be knocking at your door, summoning you to reach new heights and new visions. Prepare by relinquishing anything of the past that stops you from emerging as the creative genius that you truly are. You will see 12 orbs emerging through the oracle representing the universal resonance frequency. Therefore, see how 12 aspects of your own evolving nature are present at this time. Chant Om to channel the creative presence of the universe and to fully initiate the promise of future glory. There's something that see, he's saying you are evolving. You're totally evolving. But there's something about your connection to ETs that's going to become more prevalent in times ahead. Okay, ecstasy. Zephiel wishes you to know that divine ecstasy may come in any moment as a deep feeling of passion from your spirit for your spiritual growth, or as an aspect of your love, whereby your whole being is transfixed with the choice you've made to join the mystical pathway. The two gatekeepers on this path are awe and joy, both of which are closely aligned to ecstasy. As you experience this heightened state, be aware of the whispers of the angels. As you see in the oracle, angels use this high frequency opportunity to impart sacred living information to us about our journey. They give our higher self information about a choice we need to make, or how to open vistas of consciousness about our ethical existence. Trust the angels, for they will always have your heartfelt interest in their hearts. Chant Ha in the heart chakra to open this channel of light-filled inspiration from the angelic realms. Okay. I just got the word glee. you're gonna have glee and joy soon. Oh, some of it about going back home is also to properly heal past wounds. Maybe some things were left unresolved or something. Interesting. I just saw you going through some kind of a wormhole. You might become enlightened or have an enlightenment experience, and that actually involves the galaxies too, the wormhole thing. So, mm, yeah, almost like you're coming into your superpowers or something fairly soon. Between now and 2006, 2004 to 2006, you're going to be getting some superpowers that come online. Okay. Your dad sends you a big, big hug. He's like, you're going to do great. He's acting like you're about to go on some kind of journey. You're going to do great. Hey, nasa simpiano shushinki pa hey na ai. Pa pa ma anatarin. He said something about he's saying something about your mom, like don't like not worrying about your mom or something. He says he'll see to her. He said it's important that you put yourself as a priority and go into whatever you're going to go into, like totally wholeheartedly, 100%, and you'll get a lot out of it. Okay. Let me see. Oh, it's time to overcome your fear of death. It stands in the way of you living your best life. There's nothing to lose but your ego. So be fearless. Yeah, that's along the same lines of you just going in 100%. Quit banging your head against the wall doing the same darn thing. Mix it up and do something different. Get out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. Okay. Whoever or whatever you've been thinking of, you should take some sort of action on it. Like quit daydreaming and put it to action. Affirm through visualization, belief, and saying out loud that you have all that you need and it will appear in your reality. Doubt is the only thing that can slow its arrival. Good. Again. Oh, he just said, I'm your daddy Warbucks. Was that what his name was? And Annie? I'm your daddy Warbucks. So he's gonna bring you a bright future and authenticity and give you all that you need, all the material needs that you have. Wow, wish fulfillment. He's gonna help you have your dreams come true. Now that I said that though, I feel like pulling a God card from your other daddy. Let's see what your other dad wants to say to you right now. Get ready to receive more than you've ever hoped for. Oh my gosh. Stop worrying and start praying. Faith can move mountains. In me, there is peace in the world tribulation, but I have overcome the world as you will. My will is done as you allow me to control your moves and words from within in the now moment. All things work together for good. So even when bad things happen, it's working to your benefit. I will never leave or forsake you. And your other dad says, absolutely, me too. So, and he says he hears you when you're talking to him. He hears you every time, even when you just think it in your head. Okay, so let's do the general blessing. So as long as it's within everybody's free will and it's for the highest good of everybody involved, then I will amplify the energy of whatever your intention is right now. Okay. Shishimpa huma anatrina sase lahe kinatrihi upa mama anatrina ai. Shishi purumana natrina hai kepa umaha not shan. Pua ha e na tatatan se she hela kidino don. Sa se pia mo bobra pia mam ha kere tarinidin. Ala shishin she pia na trahia sans. A shishi kere puhema anatrina tatikin sa se she leun. Okay, guys, have a beautiful week. If you want to order one of these, just go onto my website, become a member if you're not one yet, and go to my services tab and then order Ask Amy, and you'll be given like a little area to write your question in or your questions because you can ask more than one. Yeah, then you'll be on next week's thing. Oh, submit it before Monday. So submit it by Sunday if you want it to get in the next week. Okay, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you next week.